All right, in this assignment, we're going to be creating our first model. Models are going to play a really important role in what we're learning this year in science. A model can be something that you build. It can be a picture. It can be a drawing. And what a model is supposed to do is supposed to show us how something works. It's supposed to show us the connections between a concept. So we're going to be making a model of the sea ice and climate and trying to look at how the different interactions between the hydrosphere and the cryosphere and the atmosphere and what those connections are and how they interact with each other. So our learning target today says, I can develop a model that shows positive and negative feedback between the sun, the ocean, the atmosphere, and sea ice. So remember, feedback in our reading, we have two types. We have positive and negative. So when we have positive feedback, something is added to the system. When we have negative feedback, something is taken away. Okay, so we're going to look at the sun, the ocean, the atmosphere, and sea ice and see how those things interact with each other. Okay, so you're going to be downloading a PDF. So the PDF is right here, and we're going to be putting that into Notability so that we can write on it and draw on it. And create new note. So I'm going to go into Notability. And what we're going to be doing is working on this green box that says model it. So the first thing we want to do is read the text. So I'm going to read this. It says liquid and solid water are important factors in controlling climate. A large body of water can absorb energy from the sun, while snow or ice reflects solar energy back into space. I'm just going to highlight that because I think that might come in handy with our model. So we're going to say a large body of water can absorb energy from the sun, while snow or ice reflects solar energy back into space. In recent years, the amount of sea ice, frozen water in the Arctic Circle has been dwindling or getting smaller because the air and water have been warmer than usual. As more of the Arctic Ocean is exposed due to loss of ice, it absorbs more sunlight and gets warmer. I'm going to underline that or highlight it. So as more of the Arctic Ocean is exposed due to loss of ice, it absorbs more sunlight and gets warmer. This makes it less likely for sea ice to form even when the air is well below freezing. So there's a lot of information there, and they're talking about how the different spheres interact with each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to draw a model to show what we think is going on. And remember, this is just our basic understanding. This is what we think so far. It may not be perfect or 100% correct right now. So this is on the image provided, draw and label a cycle diagram for the feedback that is occurring in the Arctic among the ice, liquid, seawater, atmosphere, and solar energy. The very first thing that I underlined was right here. I said a large body of water can absorb energy from the sun. So I'm going to start by actually just drawing a sun in here because that is going to be the source of the energy for my model. Okay, and it says a large body of water can absorb that energy from the sun. So I'm going to just put maybe a red arrow, and I'm going to draw an arrow that kind of goes like this. And then I'm going to just label this with absorbs energy. Whoops. Okay. Then it says the snow or the ice can reflect solar energy back. So maybe I want to put a different colored arrow that shows sunlight is kind of reflected back. Oops. Show that sunlight is reflected back from the ice. Okay, so maybe I want to label that then. Let's say sunlight reflected reflects off ice. Okay, so far this isn't a cycle yet because I just have positive feedback of energy going in, and I have negative feedback of energy reflecting and going out, okay? So then it says as more of the Arctic Ocean is exposed due to loss of ice, it absorbs more sunlight and gets warmer, okay? So maybe we would want to put something in about the ocean is going to be warming up, okay? So what you can see is we're trying to create a model that shows the connections between energy, the sun, ice, and the ocean. And so that's your assignment, is to use what we've read about so far. I got you started on it, and to create a model that shows the different parts of the system. So we've got our sea ice, we have the ocean, we have the sun, and we have energy. And I want you to think about how are those things going to interact. So I want you to do your best to create a model that shows those relationships. And your model is not going to be probably correct the first time. That's the really cool thing about science. When we make a model, it's what we think, but we're most likely going to change it and alter our model as we learn more about this. As we go through the rest of this chapter, we're going to learn more about the atmosphere. We're going to learn more about the cryosphere. We're going to learn more about the hydrosphere and how energy moves through those and how matter can move through those. And that will help us come back to this model and make it better. So I just want you to take your best attempt and draw a diagram or a model to show how you think sea ice and climate are related. And you do not have to follow the way I did it. I was just showing you some ways to kind of think about it. So use your text over here, what we highlighted, and the picture over here, and try to create a model and do the best you can with it. So if you have questions, see me in class. We're going to actually work on this model together in class. But if you're at home doing some distance learning, you can see kind of the different parts of the model and how I did it. So we'll talk to you later, everybody.